All right, guys, I'd like to go over daily homework page number 127. So I already have my name and today's date on the page, so let's get into the questions. So the first question is 8,008 minus 6,632. So I'm going to use the stacking method and use borrowing in order to figure out all my answers. So that means I'm going to have to write them one on top of the other. 8,008, and I'm subtracting 6,632. So I'm going to start off with just a quick estimate. I'm looking at 8,000 minus 6,000. That's 2,000. But then after that, I have 0 hundreds, 0 tens, and then I have 600. It's going to be well below 2,000, something like 1,300, 1,400, something like that. So let's find the exact answer now. So I can begin with my ones place and say 8 minus 2 is 6. That makes perfect sense because 8 minus 2 is 6. But then when I go over to the tens place, I have 0 minus 3. Now I'm going to have to do some borrowing in order to get this so I can stack it properly, right? We call it kind of redistributing the numbers. So I can't borrow from the hundreds place yet because it has a 0 in it. So I'm going to start off with this thousands place and redistribute the numbers starting with the thousands. So I'm going to take one of these thousands. So I have 8,000. I'm going to take one of those thousands and leave 7,000 here. I'm going to put those 1,000 into the hundreds place. That's going to make 10 hundreds, right? 1,000 and 10 hundreds are the same thing. Then I'm going to take one of those hundreds. So this is now going to be 9 hundreds. And I'm going to move it over to the tens place. So I'm going to put 100 here, right? Which is like 10 tens. So I showed you guys this in a previous video, but let's just take a quick look at it. So if I have 8,008, that's 8,000 plus 0 plus 0 plus 8, right? If I'm looking at the expanded form, that gives me 8,008. If I have 7,900, 108, I have the same amount. This also adds up to 8,008. So I haven't changed the number outside of just redistributed where the numbers were. So now I have 7,900, 108. I'm going to use that to subtract. So now I have 10 tens, so 10 tens, which is 100, minus 3 tens, which is 30, is 70. I have 900 minus 600, which is 300. And I have 7,000 minus 6,000, which is 1,000. So my answer is 1,376. That's why I figured my answer would be somewhere 1,300 to 1,400. Now, for number 2, I have 1,100 times 10. So remember that 1,100 times 1 would just be 1,100. And if I'm multiplying by 10, everything goes over one place value. So that's 11,000. The 5 in 5,901, what place value is that? Well, if I put a 1 above the 5 and a 0 above everything to the right, my number is 1,000. So this is the thousands place. Number 4, I want to know what fraction of this circle is shaded. So I have 2 parts that are shaded. There are 3 unshaded parts, which means that there are 5 total parts that the circle has been divided into. So we say this is 2/5. That's another way of writing it there. Last question is a fact family question. 6 times 3, well, I know 6 and 6 is 12 and another 6 is 18. And if I know 6 times 3 is 18, that means I also know that 3 times 6 is 18, that 18 divided by 3 is 6, and that 18 divided by 6 is 3. Don't forget to do your Lexia practice and to write down what you read today. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you again soon.